Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be what some people are doing in their life right now who harness high vibe Pisces energy. They have decided and learned some lessons in life that they're going to listen to their intuition and not give up on their dreams and listen to their intuition and love to guide their decisions in their life instead of letting like their fear or their insecurity or their pride or their ego or their lust or their greed or their more immature, indulgent, lazy nature run their life or their more emotionally defensive life. And then there's going to be some people who still just might have lessons to learn in life that some of you have already learned. You know, life's all about learning lessons, and we continue to learn lessons throughout our life. And you might have just learned some lessons that some other people haven't learned in life, and you're just not on the same page. And some other people, as comparison to your life, you kind of feel like they're caught up in the world or caught up in their fear or their insecurity or their more immature, indulgent nature, you know? And then there's the people who completely are in shadow energy because they have these complete illusions about life. You know, they're the bossy and controlling and egotistical and stubborn boss at work or relationship partner. And, you know, some people have all sorts of wacky ideas of what life is supposed to be about. And then there's just some people who are just really caught up in the illusion of the world. Isn't the most important thing what I wear and what I drive and how much money I have? Isn't that the most important thing? And they make their life all about that. And they maybe reject listening to their intuition and reject loving people in their life because they're so consumed and addicted to indulging in the world. And it could just be a struggle within yourself. You know, it kind of makes it difficult because shadowy, loving energy and intuitive and just and fair energy, that's pretty easy. But the realm of shadow, you know, it can just be people that, you know, you're dealing with your own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to all the way to people who are narcissistic. So, you know, we kind of cover the gamut of it. And you need to use your own intuition about the people in your life, and you could be a Pisces or cross-watching for a Pisces or just watching. We all harness some Pisces energy. You might be cross-watching and you find out you're the one who harnesses high vibe Pisces. And some other people you know harness some shadowy Pisces energy. So, in the top row is the Seven of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. But in high vibe, the way I would view this card is people having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. Because Pisces energy and high vibe is about looking to the future and believing in your dreams and all the things that are possible. And in high vibe, you would want to harness high vibe Scorpio energy to be bold and brave enough emotionally to experience the highs and lows of life and wanting to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships. And sometimes we come across people that have illusions that they can get in relationships and harness shadowy Scorpio energy, which is kind of being more about keeping your emotions buried beneath the surface and maybe living a more emotionally shallow and superficial life, being defensive to love. And then those people get in relationships with loving people and it causes a problem because eventually people see through the illusion and see that they're in a relationship with people who really don't want to have, you know, you have to be bold and brave and confident enough to do love. And some people aren't. So we have the King of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Fool, and the Ace of Wands. There is some people right now. Well, what are high vibe Pisces doing? They are taking action in the world. The kings talk about taking action. We all take action in masculine energy because our emotional realm is kind of our hidden realm. So we all present ourselves and take action is considered masculine energy. High vibe people are taking action in the world, harnessing high vibe Cancer energy and high vibe Pisces and high vibe Scorpios. Oh my goodness. You're aligned with all the zodiac sign, water sign energies, which is having hope and faith and belief in your dreams, you know, connecting with your emotions, your intuition, kind of being bold and brave to explore the mysteries of life. And you want and operate from operate your life from a place of love and home and family, and you let your more vulnerable nature out in the world to play. A lot of people don't, or some of the people anyway don't. You love yourself enough to let your more authentic, vulnerable nature out to play in the world, because you want to be happy and you want to be in long-term emotionally fulfilling relationships. How are you going to have a long-term emotionally deep meaningful relationship if you don't let your more vulnerable authentic nature come out to play in the world? Some of you might be communicating with someone who you believe harnesses high vibe Aries energy. If you feel, and if you were kind of sensing or intuiting that someone that you might know might have been moving forward, I don't know, kind of in an illusion, you might have said, hey, you want to get in a relationship? And let's have hope and faith and belief in all that can be, and clear up the illusion or the emotional confusion. And if you were headed towards something that kind of would have been more creating an illusion or whatever, you want to not take action towards that. The Seven of Cups can be towards your options also. So if you know someone who maybe was going to take action towards someone else, you might have communicated and presented yourself as, I would like to be in a long-term relationship with you, or at least check it out, to see, because from the 7 to the 10 is the 3 of Cups, which can talk about working together from a foundation emotionally from love to see if there is a possibility for that. But you communicated with them that you were aligned with your more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And some of you are in those relationships right now. People aren't moving forward with their options. People are in relationships for some of you. For others of you, if you're not in a relationship right now, you're just moving forward, kind of communicating to the world, being open. That doesn't mean you lack good boundaries. You have good boundaries, but it's just to communicate to the world that, I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, I'm believing, I have hope and faith and belief and love. I'm looking for people who are on the same page and hoping that as you move forward, I think this card would be saying that needless, if you're not in your shadow energy, which can be, I'm defensive, I'm selfish, I'm greedy, I'm manipulative, I'm prideful, I'm egotistical, I'm lazy, I'm immature. You're not any of those things in high vibe energy. So there's going to be people who are going to want to work together with you in friendship groups and relationships and workplaces, because they don't want to invest in other people who are emotionally confused about the truth. And high vibe energy is being aligned with the truth. I treat people the way I like to be treated. I'm just, I'm fair, I'm open, I'm honest. Doesn't mean you got to tell everybody your whole life story the first time you meet them, but you're open and you're truthful and you're not trying to manipulate people or emotionally confuse people about the truth. You're being honest. And as some of you are moving forward, you might have someone communicate with you, hey, don't take action towards any of your options. I would like to be in a relationship with you. And regardless of if it's people you meet as you move forward or someone who communicates to you as you're moving forward, especially if it's someone from your past, you're going to have to listen to your intuition and maybe not take quick action, even though part of you might like to take quick action, but to get to know them, to not get caught up in illusion, because Pisces energy, it can all be about, oh my gosh, I love love, and I love the idea of love, and blah, blah, and kind of getting caught up in the illusion of it, because we've lived enough life to know that we've met people in the world before who present themselves as loving family people, but they're operating from their ego, because that's also what the kings in tarot can talk about. When people present themselves in the world, people can present themselves any way they want. What is the truth of their foundation? Are they immature? Are they emotionally confused? Are they trying to emotionally confuse you about the truth of who they are? And they operate from ego? And they're emotionally defensive or insecure or prideful or egotistical or selfish or greedy, and getting in a relationship with you would be great because you're a loving, warm, giving person and they want to indulge in a relationship with you, or it'd be good for their ego or their image? Or are they trying to emotionally confuse and manipulate someone else by getting in a relationship with you? All the things we need to take into consideration, and that's why we don't jump into a relationship and like have sex immediately. You know, because we've all known people, right, that we initially could have been attracted to, or maybe they were in another relationship, like especially like when you were young and growing up, and other people knew people, and they were in relationships, and then later you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I never got in a relationship with that person. It takes time to find out the truth of who people are and to see through our attractiveness to them. We want to make sure we don't cast who we are over them, because I think as human beings we have a tendency to do that. That we meet people and we think, oh, I bet they think like I think, they'd act like I would act in certain. We just think people view the world the way we view the world, and some people have a really screwy way of viewing the world. So do not cast your traits and characteristics like a sheer blanket or air spray of your traits and characteristics onto them. Make sure you get to know them and find out the truth of who they are. And if they truly are people that are people who could approach you, that could be from your past, or people you meet as you move forward in your life, that you get to know the truth of their foundation and don't get caught up in the illusion. Because some people are wearing a false mask, some people are immature, some people do have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, and they harness these shadowy energies, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But high vibe people are people who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. Some of the people in shadowy energy don't even have an interest of doing love. They get hurt doing that. Some of them are caught up in the illusion of the world. Some of them are all about indulging themselves, and it's all about them. And they try to manipulate people to get them to get in a relationship with them so they can indulge immaturely in a relationship and create the illusion they're willing to bring a dream into reality. But when it gets to be where they'd really have to take a leap of faith and have hope and faith and belief and love and trust other people and be more vulnerable, that's when the relationship ends with Ace of Wands in reverse. Like, oh, no, not willing to do that. I was willing to be in a relationship and be happy with you. Maybe even start a family with you. Heck, maybe even get married to you. But willing to explore the mysteries of life emotionally? Oh no, I like to live a more superficial life and keep my emotions buried beneath the surface, but I create this illusion of being a happy family person. Don't you want to stay in a happy family with me? And that's too, if you get in relationships with people like that, you kind of realize, like, oh my gosh, it's kind of this. You can't have an authentic, deep relationship with someone who's hiding behind their ego. They kind of let their more immature nature out in the world, their emotionally egoic nature out in the world, to go indulge in relationships, and they present themselves hiding behind their mask, never truly letting their more vulnerable nature out in the world, just their more immature, indulgent nature out in the world to go enjoy relationships. But they're not willing to take a risk, to be bold and brave and confident, to explore the mysteries of deep, meaningful relationships. And that's when you find out the truth. So some of you have already been in relationships like that, and you're going on a new journey, and you're not offering a new beginning to anybody who creates an illusion about who they are. They're either truthful and honest and authentic and loving and vulnerable and bold and brave and confident, aligned with hope and faith and love, or you're not going to get in a relationship with them because you've already done that type of relationship and you have no interest in repeating that pattern in a relationship. I learned the lessons I was meant to learn from that relationship. I have now seen that other people have these ways of viewing life and relationships, and that's different Their dream relationship is different than my dream relationship. The way they're happy living their life is different than how I'm happy living my life. And some of us, we didn't even realize that some people wouldn't be willing to explore the highs and lows of life in love. Because if you're someone who believes in love and is emotionally vulnerable and open in relationships, you just assumed everybody was. Let's go look at the shadowy energy here. We have the King of, or the Six of Wands, the Hermit, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. For some of you who let go of someone and you've moved on, and that person might even come talk to you, wanting to get back in a relationship with you. And you, part of you could be tempted. That's our fiery nature, especially if you had a family with them, you know. But I think your Pisces nature that has hope and faith and belief in your dreams will stop you from being a fool and repeating an old pattern, because there's nothing new to learn there. If they're still immature, hiding behind their ego, haven't grown and matured themselves, haven't faced their fears and insecurities, haven't worked through their illusions about relationships or their own fears and insecurities, it'll just be a repeat of the same old shit. And you've been there and you've done that and you already knew, found out you didn't like it. So I think that will stop you, and you will kind of like wish them peace. Or if you're moving forward and they pop up in your life, hey, I went to go try to have a beginning with someone else who I thought was more on the same page as me because I didn't want to do love with you, but that relationship didn't work out. So I thought I'd come back. Can we get back together and put the family back together? And you might be like, no. I wish you peace, but no. We've changed. I've moved on. You know, I think we kind of found out we were driven and motivated by different things in life. So what about the shadowy energy? Right now, some people are in their ego because that's what they operate from. Instead of listening to their intuition and love to drive the action that they take in the world, they let their fear or their insecurity or their emotionally defensive nature or their immature, full of themselves, self-centered nature, whatever their shadow nature is, that's how they're moving forward in the world. Their own Virgo energy from the divine, because we have the seeds of both within us. We have our dualistic nature. We have the seeds of our worldly nature that want to live our life, that want to grow. That's why we always have this spiritual warfare within ourselves. We have our selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, I want what I want nature in there. And we also have our loving, intuitive nature in there, trying to encourage us to love and believe in ourselves, to free ourselves from our shadowy nature, to be free in the energy of love. Their own shadowy Virgo, or their own high vibe Virgo energy, is trying to stop them from moving forward in ego. Because their high vibe Virgo nature, whether they, at like a subconscious level probably, their Virgo energy is trying to put in work and effort to get them more balanced. So they maybe don't go exchange time, energy, and effort and resources in the world out of fear and insecurity and fear of love and wanting to be loved but not wanting to do love, and maybe just trying to find someone that they can go in get in a relationship with who doesn't know the truth of who they are, that would be willing to work with them so they can juggle someone else and not really invest in them. Because if you invest in them, you could get hurt, and who wants to get hurt? They're not willing to take a risk to get hurt. So they just hide the fact that they work together with people more from their emotionally defensive nature, and then they juggle and they don't really invest in people. But then they go get in a relationship with people, and the whole time they're in the relationship, all their fears and insecurities are still there. And they could be people who have a lot of fear of insecurity of other people juggling them and not really investing in themselves. What an awful way to live. How about you choose to love yourself and learn to fill your own cup and be more independent and learn to offer love and compassion and forgiveness to yourself, to heal and to love and believe in yourself and to heal from some of your past pain and heartbreak and your fears and insecurities, so that you are more balanced within yourself and aren't wanting to get in relationships to feel like you're moving forward in life or to feel more balanced, because then that makes you codependent on someone outside of yourself to make you feel balanced. Some of the people in shadowy energy are hiding that they might want to work with a Capricorn, for some of them particularly. And part of the reason that could be because in their shadowy nature, and it doesn't specifically have to be a Capricorn, they want to work together with someone else who might align with their more worldly nature, because they're operating from their more shadowy nature, and our shadow nature and the world is kind of represented by the devil. You know, it imprisons us and enslaves us and confines us and restricts us and consumes us in our addictions to fear and insecurity and pride and ego and lust and greed. And they could be hiding that they want to work with someone else who's on the same page as them. But if there's someone who likes to present themselves in the world as a loving family person and they're driven and motivated by love, the reason they might want to work with someone else who harnesses shadowy Capricorn energy is because their long-term goal in Virgo energy is to be a King of Pentacles. I want the things of the world. And if that person has the things of the world, I want to have a victory and work with them because I want those things. If that person, I think, would indulge me being more indulgent in the world, or being prideful or egotistical or bossy or controlling or defensive, then that's who I want to be in a relationship with. Or all of the above. Do you have money, and are you willing to indulge me being emotionally shallow and superficial and maybe materialistic and maybe manipulative, maybe bossy and controlling? And they could be really stressed out because they could be looking for someone to get in a relationship with. Also, our shadow energy is about being more driven by the world, how people perceive us, wanting people to perceive us a certain way, because that's how, we kind of, in our shadow, build our self-esteem. I want people to view me a certain way. I want people to view me as victorious. I want people to view me as someone who's moving forward, that I have gained insight and wisdom about the past, and that I'm ready to put in work and effort to move forward. The only thing is, in their shadow energy, they're not. They're not being inspired to put in work and effort in high vibe Virgo energy to go within and figure out why they act like this. Why am I so concerned about my image and how other people view me? How about I go live my authentic life and I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks? But if you haven't learned to love and believe in yourself, then you could derive your whole sense of worth and value based on how other people in the world perceive you. And then that becomes the most important thing, and you become enslaved to the world. How do people view me? How do people perceive me? Do other people look at me as victorious? Do I look victorious? Screw it. Go live your life. But some people, oh my God, they're just consumed with it. And then some people don't feel like they seem victorious if they're maybe not working together with someone else. Like, I have to be in a relationship, like, for me to seem like I have worth and value in the world. Really? All the people who are single and not in a relationship, they have no worth and value? The world is what we think it is, and some people have a lot of screwy thoughts about what's valuable. I know I just read a quote, a thing that popped up on my Facebook feed by Keanu Reeves, who had said that somebody had said that they felt sorry for the single people in the world or something, that they were lonely, and he told him, I'm not lonely. I'm not in a relationship, but I'm not lonely. I take myself out to eat. I go enjoy my life. I go do things with friends and family that I enjoy. I'm not lonely. I think some people can be in relationships and be very lonely. if the reason they got into it is out of fear and insecurity and all about their ego and their image and how people view them, and they're in relationships with people who don't really invest in them. Some people thought they were going to have a victory with someone, and that person juggled them, and they're not willing. We go from the 8 to the 2. Someone wasn't willing to exchange financial resources with them, and someone maybe really wanted someone to exchange financial resources with them or be in a relationship with them. And now they could be really stressed. Because if that person would have either been in a relationship with them, they would have looked like the winner or the victor or looked victorious in the world, or felt like people would have looked up to and admired them, or they would have been part of the cool kid club, or they really wanted somebody to exchange financial resources with them. And if that person isn't willing to exchange financial resources with them, they might not feel like they have very many financial resources. And they might not believe in themselves to believe that if they were to listen to their intuition, that maybe they could come up with some creative, inspired ways to manifest abundance in their life. Because that's the thing, why high vibe people can probably create a lot of things is because they're in alignment with the universe, life-giving energy. They're listening to their intuition. They're creative. They're inspired. They take action on listening to their intuition. But some people think the only thing that they should work with is the world, and they don't want to listen to their intuition. Some people, the other way this could be is there could be some people, loving people can get in relationships with some shadowy people, and there could be some loving people in a shadowy relationship right now. Oh wait, this goes like this. And those people could be pretty stressed because loving people can get in a relationship with people who they come to realize with the Virgo Hermit, it's like, oh my gosh, when I first got in a relationship with you, I thought, you had detached from the past. I thought you presented yourself as like a loving family person. We went and got into this relationship. And then you started to take these kind of either foolish risks, or you don't seem to want to be inspired to work together with me in a deep, meaningful relationship, maybe not wanting to have any intimacy, maybe kind of juggling, and now that you got in the relationship, it seems like you don't even want to invest in it anymore. And there's could be some high vibe people that are in a relationship like that right now in their Virgo energy who are really thinking back and reflecting on this relationship. And they could really be seeing that, I've been offering love and encouragement and being authentic and trying to inspire and motivate people to love and believe in themselves, to bring this dream into reality. And I'm starting to see that maybe the other person is kind of indulging in this relationship, and they're operating more from their ego. And now I'm not sure if I want to keep investing in this relationship. And they could be really pretty stressed because, anytime like a job or a friendship or a relationship, if you've already invested a lot of time, energy, and effort, for some people, like 8 years going on 9, that, oh my gosh, I've invested all this time and energy, and I got caught up in the illusion, and I wasn't seeing the truth of the person I was in a relationship with. And now some of those people are wondering, should they, if you keep indulging someone in shadowy energy, prideful, egotistical, self-centered, lazy, emotionally defensive, and you've been doing that work all this time, and they keep moving forward the same way they do, hiding that they juggle, and they have a lot of stress about being more vulnerable or authentic or loving or just or fair in a relationship, and they'd rather just focus on the world or indulgence or money, whatever, status, image. There's going to be some people that will keep working on that relationship because they're just kind of in the process now. There's other people that have been in the midst of this for a while, And some of those people are like, Virgo goes within to see the truth. And the Eight of Pentacles turns their back on a Seven of Pentacles investment, a relationship or a job, a friendship, whatever, a way of viewing life. Is it worth staying in a job or a relationship because of the status or the image or the money or the whatever? Are we happy? Is it leaving us emotionally confused? Are we nobody taking inspired action in the workplace or the relationship? Everybody's stressed. People are acting immature. People are acting prideful, egotistical, manipulative. The truth sets us free. Virgo goes within to see the truth. I'm going to turn my back on living my life this way if it's just me. I'm going to turn my back and move forward in my life and wish the people in my life peace that want to keep living their life that way, that would like me to maybe keep living my life that way, because then I will keep indulging them in a relationship. But the high vibe people who want their dreams to come into reality are seeing the truth that their dreams can't come into reality with other people who are not like bold and brave and confident enough to have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, and love. And they're going to go communicate to their own Aries energy. Let's take a leap of faith and come up here and take some action, work through our emotional confusion and the illusion and gain insight and wisdom about it all so we can go on a new journey. And then let's start taking action to communicate with some other people in the world who we think are on the same page as us, and see if they would like to be in a friendship or work with us or get a new job, whatever. Because I can't keep doing this. My dream isn't going to come into reality down here. And some of those people that are in shadowy energy are just realizing, people can act immature and prideful and stubborn and turn their back on being like balanced and all that stuff, and turn their back on dealing with their own fears and insecurities. And then one day they see that, people are no longer emotionally confused about them, and other people are moving on, and they could be really stressed. And some of the people that are in the midst of it, again, I think the people who know that they are defensive, that know they have a lot of fears of being vulnerable, who know that they kind of wear a false mask, I think they're always afraid that the people they're in a relationship with are going to face their own fears and insecurities and move forward in life. I would be curious, why don't these people ever do the work within themselves to face their own fears and insecurities so they can move forward with people like this too? Because of their love of money? Love of ego? Love of their long-term plan that this is the way you're supposed to do a relationship. Why can't I find anybody who will do a relationship with me like this? Why do people want to change? Why do people want to add to a perfectly wonderful, stable way of living life? And that could be how they like to live their life. Some people are unwilling to change. Some people are unwilling to take the good things that they've learned in life. Some people are very afraid of listening to their own intuition and adding. It's kind of like, I don't trust and believe in myself. No, we have to do things like the way my parents did. This is the way we got to do it. I have so much fear of adding to this foundation because I just lack lack of confidence in myself. Oh my God, I cannot relate to that at all. But I think from having done tarot, I have found that out. And it's hard to relate to. But I think some people, they could have grown up with people who kind of were emotionally shallow and superficial and made their life all about this pretense, and it could have been a great, wonderful family. And the children who grew up in that family, it could have kind of been squashed out of them to not ever listen to their intuition, never step outside of societal norms. You have to do things the way we do it. And they just have never ventured out on their own to even have been allowed to practically listen to their own intuition for some of them, I think. Well, everybody's got to do the work to free themselves. And until they free themselves, they're going to keep repeating a pattern. And since we're at 35 minutes, we've got to end it there. I think you high vibe people, you're going on a new journey. If people come with or they don't, you're going. And you're going to meet people along the way. And I think there is going to be people from your past who might communicate with you, who would like you to come back and get in a relationship. So long as they're on the same page as you, you're not going to take action towards your other options. You're going to have a long-term relationship with them. If some of those people are trying to confuse you about the truth of who they are, I think you won't take any action towards them, and you'll continue on with your journey. And you'll meet new people along the way. And I think the shadowy people who've already decided, I'm not doing love, that's way too scary. I'm going to keeping safe, taking action for my ego. I'm going to hide from people that I juggle and that I have a lot of fear and insecurity. And I'm going to go try to have a victory with someone who might be more worldly focused like me, because then we're on the same page, and then maybe, everything will work out okay. But I don't know. If people don't do work within their own issues, those issues aren't going to go away. But they might have the things of the world they want, and they might not have to invest in someone, but they might get in a relationship with someone who doesn't really want to invest in them either, who also might have a lot of fear and insecurity. And I don't know what kind of a great relationship that sounds like, but to each their own. And it's all about learning lessons. And if we're on a certain page of life, just like when we were young and immature and reckless, we got in relationships with other immature and reckless people, and we all had lessons to learn about how we want to live our life. Maybe some people just have a lot of life lessons to learn, and they're going to go learn them. And others of you have learned some lessons they haven't learned, and you're willing to be more bold and brave and loving in the world than they are. So I wish you all peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.